I say this is a very special episode of Nomad a lot, but today is actually a very special episode of Nomad because today is the first ever international episode of Nomad. I'm in Bermuda for the honeymoon, and because I have an amazing wife, she asked me, "Are you gonna do a Nomad here?" And I said, "You know, that's a pretty good idea. This is just a little old lagoon that you can hang out in and go snorkeling in. This is kind of the essence of Bermuda. Very relaxed. So I'm going to take you around the island and show you just how unbelievably gorgeous the scenery is around here. All right, time for me to go snorkeling." I mean, everywhere I look, it feels like I'm on the set of Lost. Look, Bermuda is sun, it's surf, and it's really safe. The only caveat, there's no identifiable island cuisine. It's got British roots as an island and a lot of British influence. So there's sandwiches, lots of sandwiches, and lots of French fries. The only thing that passes for local cuisine, quote unquote, appropriately, a fish sandwich. All right. The most famous of which, though, is at Art Mel's.
Oh, I'm fired up for Art Mel's. Really fired up. Best fish sandwich on the island.
A small joint, tucked in a neighborhood, up on a hill. Damn, is it worth it?
That's how I like my fish sandwich restaurants. Takeout, just a little board up top, can't eat inside, and right next to a construction zone.
Anyone that's ever eaten a sandwich out of a brown paper bag knows it's the proper way to do it. Plus this view as the backdrop from the Airbnb we're staying at, sublime. And an ice cold Coke? Oh yeah. Now see, here's the key. I've never had this on a fish sandwich. The bread is a raisin bread, which provides a perfect splash of moisture and sweetness. The coleslaw isn't runny or wet, just refreshing cabbage and carrots. And then the fish. My goodness, that's a lot of fish. One half was good enough per person. The crunch, the freshness, the white flakiness. Yeah, it's all there. Just a touch of hot sauce, and that's the best meal on the island. 2 Nomad thumbs up.
First time on a moped. It's a little intimidating when buses are coming up behind you and passing you, driving on the wrong side of the street, roundabouts. It's a death bike, but let's hope I survive. So a few things stand out here in Bermuda. Number one, the people are so warm and so friendly, it makes you wonder if they're all just trying to sell you on the island. But I believe that it's actually natural and organic. And look, coming from New York City, not a lot of people are nice and laid back and helpful. Number two, everywhere you look seems like a National Geographic pictorial, but it's almost like you can't go anywhere where you don't see crystal clear, deep blue or turquoise water and white sands. Number three, the culture of motorbikes here is fantastic. They're easy, they're simple to use, they're very economical, but I've got to wonder, what's the accident rate here? Because I see motorbikes turning corners 45, 50 miles an hour, and there's big dump trucks pulling around the same corner from the opposite way. I really need stats on this. I'm like the old person going about 20 miles an hour to myself in the corner, letting everybody pass. Yes, of course, my death bike was numbered 227. Not only am I a huge fan of the 1980 sitcom, but also there was once a historical beef on my show over Jack Kay. I called her a C-list 1980 sitcom star. Her Twitter mafia got after me pretty bad. Ooh, baby. All right, guys, another interesting aspect to life here in Bermuda is there are no rental cars for tourists that come here, which leads us to mopeds and electric cars. There's one company that actually rents something called Twizys. They're very popular, and I was only able to reserve these more than a month in advance for the final 3 days. It's a two-seater, but it's not side by side. It's one in back of the other. No windows. I think they basically want us dummy tourists to drive the simplest car ever, so that you have to stay on the left side of the road.
I am Batman. This thing needs a vacuum.
That's a really good reminder. Here's instructions if you mess anything up. This is what qualifies as air conditioning. Gas, brake. Here we go. Stick that in. Wait for that little go light on the left side. Got to push on the brake to release the e-brake, which is always mandatory. Now,
Trained professional, closed course only.
want to ride? Every so often you can punch this thing to about 50 kilometers an hour. This is about its top speed. Not a ton of American horsepower in it. Actually, there's none. This is an electric car. As you can see, there's no windows. There's no sun visors. You just gotta make do with this. Wind starts, it's gonna start coming in from the sides. Sun is setting in your eyes, too bad. And now I'm getting out of my Batmobile. All right, so now let's charge this thing. The best part is there is no cost. You just plug it into the wall at one of 10 different charging ports around the island. To the front, pop this open, pull this bad boy out. And they tell me you know it's charging when you hear a sucking sound. It's at 54%. So I'm gonna leave it here for about an hour. The only catch on the Twizys is the charge time. It takes about 3 hours, they tell me, to charge it to a full tank if it's on empty. If you don't have a charge port at your house, you have to find a way to kill 3 hours somewhere, which I suppose you can do on your phone. We Americans are pretty good at killing time on our phone. If there's nothing around you and there's nothing to do and maybe you don't get service, you better have a book. Or you better like just staring into space, because you got some time to kill, baby. All right, so I've left it for about an hour. In the process, got myself a new Bermuda hat. And this bad boy behind me is spectacular to look at, but up top, they're gonna try to get me to walk out into an open grill that surrounds the top. And there ain't no chance I'm going out there. Heights are not a friend to DA. I'll give you the view from where I stand, but I'm not going out of that grill. I like lighthouses. You ain't getting me out there. No way. All right, you were brave enough to go out there into the outer walkway. How was it?
I was. It was spectacular. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful.
Is it scary?
No, there's a little chicken.
That didn't look safe.
It was safe. I mean, it definitely didn't meet code in the U.S.
You're right, yeah. Didn't meet code in the U.S. I knew that. I sniffed that out. The Twizy itself is great. Very simple. It's like driving a glorified golf cart. There's only go, reverse, and brake. And it doesn't go very fast. You don't need to go that fast at this island anyway. And you get to keep saying, Twizy, kind of like Swizz Beats. Twizy! remember to subscribe to Nomad by clicking on this button right here, and we'll notify you of brand new episodes. And thanks to our good friends at Field Trip Snacks for, as always, hooking you up with a discount on your beef jerky orders. I should get them internationally shipped here. Until next time, remember, there are fish sandwiches, and then there are fish sandwiches. Amendo, out.